Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kind of Funny Games Daily for Monday, February 8th, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is Tim fucking Geddes.
Let Tim host. Bless, how are you doing?
I'm doing good now that I'm looking at you in this tight leather jacket. Look at that, man.
Oh, is this a brand new, pure, genuine leather bomber jacket? Oh, yeah, it is, baby. Oh, yeah. And
That
Bless,
is hot.
Bless, is that a fresh new little shave up you got going on?
Oh yeah, I had to clean up a bit. I was at a crossroads because I was trying to make the decision. And I feel like I've talked about this every week since I've started not shaving. I've been trying to make the decision of, am I going to cut off the beard? Am I going to keep it? And this last week I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to commit for a little bit longer to keeping the beard. And if that's the case, I got to clean it up a little bit. And so I had to get it shaved up.
This is the best looking episode of Games Daily.
It really is, honestly. Look at us.
Take that for what it's worth.
Who would have thought?
It can only go downhill from here.
Exactly.
Talk about video games.
Now, Tim, before we talk about video games, I want to talk about a movie real quick. Over the weekend, I got bored. I was like, you know what, man? I'm going to pick a random movie from Amazon Prime to watch. Do you know what I watched on Saturday?
What did
A movie
you watch?
called Gemini Man.
And
that movie is like the most 6 out of 10 movie I've ever seen, but I still enjoyed it. Like, it was one of those ones where I was like, I don't mind how mediocre this movie is, because it's just Will Smith being Will Smith.
Just
for 2
so
hours.
you know, you would have enjoyed it a lot more had you watched the 120 frames with fucking 3D. It was phenomenal. Like, visually, that movie was incredible, even with the weird face stuff, which I liked.
Oh my god. My phone's been doing this weird thing where Spotify just randomly cuts on, and so if you hear J. Cole, it's because my phone's being weird.
God, what a disaster this all is. But Gemini Man, Gemini Man is undeniably my favorite movie that stars Will Smith and a motorcycle.
Oh my god. The motorcycle scene in that movie, easily the highlight, maybe the only highlight in that movie. But still, like, what a fantastic scene. Shout out to Gemini Man. Everybody go watch Gemini Man. Don't expect much, but expect a great motorcycle scene.
Totally.
But enough about that. Let's talk about a secret Halo game, the Nemesis System being patented, and more, because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday at 10 a.m. live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, roosterteeth.com, or you can listen later on podcast services around the globe by searching for Kinda Funny Games Daily. To be a part of the show, at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, where bronze members or above get to write in, and silver members or above get the show ad-free with the exclusive daily post show. Housekeeping for you. Strap in, because we got a lot of housekeeping. I'll start with Hitman 3 contracts. That's right. You can get your Hitman 3 contracts featured on the game's homepage. Hitman 3 is featuring Kind of Funny contracts. Me and Snowbike Mike are making some featured contracts, and we're picking 3 from the community to submit alongside ours to IO Interactive. If you want to participate, it's easy. Create a contract on the Dartmoor Mansion level specifically, and once you're done, submit the contract ID to kindoffunny.com/hitman. We're only picking the best ones, so flex those Hitman muscles. The deadline is the 18th. And then, in case you missed it, there's a new episode of The Blessing Show up right now. Star Wars games, past, present, and future. It's a 7-minute video detailing everything you need to know about Star Wars and why you should be excited about Lucasfilm Games. It even has a cool little intro that you should definitely go watch. 100%. That's up right now on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. And then somehow, beyond all of that, still a huge week here at Kind of Funny. Tomorrow is the Bloodborne episode of PS I Love You XOXO with me, Greg, Andy, Timur from GameSpot, and then Brian Altano. You know him, you love him, from IGN. Then Barrett is back at it like a bad habit. After releasing Zelda in review last year, Barrett immediately started working on Assassin's Creed in review, Kind of Funny Games in review special, where he played through all the 12 mainline games throughout 2020, wrote his reviews for each one, ranked them, and then compiled it all into one 2-hour video for your viewing pleasure. Assassin's Creed in review releases this Wednesday, February 10th at 2:30 Pacific time on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames as a YouTube premiere. So watch the video as it debuts and hang out and chat with Barrett and other best friends to talk about everything we love about Assassin's Creed. It doesn't stop there, though.
Wow.
Wednesday, the FCF activities begin with our first draft. Come to twitch.tv/kindafunnygames to draft our football team with Snowbike Mike and Greg. Again, Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then Saturday
What a
is Wild
stupid
Aces.
sentence that was.
It doesn't stop there. It gets stupider because Saturday is Wild Aces game day. The fan-controlled football season starts with the Wild Aces squaring off against Quavo. That's right, Quavo of the Migos and Richard Sherman's Glacier Boys. We'll be streaming the game at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday.
We're going to fuck them up. I can't wait.
I'm gonna be honest, Tim. I know like I should be all about the Wild Aces. I know I should be like showing team spirit. I'm rooting for Quavo and Richard Sherman.
God, we're such disasters.
I really hope the Glacier Boys take this one. I'm such a big Migos fan, and so like
you and Nick, come on, man, come on.
They're called the Glacier Boys. You can't get cooler than that. The Glacier
Wild
Boys.
Aces, dude. Nick's face is on helmets.
But they're owned by Richard Sherman and Quavo. You know?
I guess that is true.
It's like, what are you going to do against
just have
that?
Greg Miller and us.
Exactly. And then after the game, you can stick around for Love, Sex, and Stuff's live Valentine's Day call-in show. Again, that's going down this Saturday. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Graham of Legend, David Mintel, Trent Berry, Blackjack, Louise Aguiar, James Davis, and the Nano Biologist. Today we're brought to you by Amazon Pharmacy and DoorDash, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 8 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number 1, an unannounced Halo game is seemingly in development. This is from Tom Power at IGN. A new Halo game is seemingly in the works if a recent Microsoft job listing is anything to go by. The producer job posting, which has been advertised on the Microsoft Careers website since February 6th, reveals that Halo series developer 343 Industries is working on a new entry in the Halo franchise. The listing states that 343i is looking to hire a producer, quote, to help develop a new project in the Halo universe, end quote, which presumably signals that the new employee would not be working on Halo Infinite. The job listing specifically asks for experience in shipping AAA games for the current generation, which all but rules out the idea that this Halo project would come in any form other than a game. However, the listing offers no clues about the content of the game or when it might arrive. While there's no confirmed information on the new project, a recent rumor could point to a potential direction. Per VG247 article in November 2020, a now deleted post on Twitter suggested that 2 other games, Halo Wars 3 and a spin-off following Halo 5's Fireteam Osiris, were being planned by 343i. Tim, where do you want to start with this one? Because there's many places we can go.
I mean, I think we should start with the games that they're talking about here. Halo Wars 3 and the Fireteam Osiris spinoff. Do either of those do anything for you?
No. I mean, nothing Halo really does much for me because I've never really been the Halo person. The one thing I will say regarding Halo that might do something for me would be a Halo Battle Royale, because I think I like Battle Royales in general, and like that would be a cool thing. Hearing Halo fans talk about the potential of what a Halo Battle Royale could be, that's like that's the thing that gets me excited every single time. And so other than that, like Halo Wars, I've seen people play it. I'm like, okay, cool. That looks cool if you're a Halo fan. And then I don't know much about Fireteam Osiris, and so I don't really have much I can say about that.
So yeah, with the Halo Wars 3, that's the thing where Halo Wars 1 and 2 critically were well received and sold enough. But I feel like I'd kind of be surprised if they were going forward with a Halo Wars 3. Although whatever that team's working on, I don't think that they have too many options. And I guess at the end of the day, it probably makes more sense for Microsoft to be pushing a Halo real-time strategy game as opposed to something that doesn't have as much of a cachet to it as a franchise, something like Age of Empires or whatever, those other games that they're constantly putting out as well. But it's like you might as well get that Halo bump, right? But I still don't necessarily. I think it's a little too close to Halo Wars 2 coming out, which at this point was a couple of years ago, but still. And then the spinoff of Fireteam Osiris, which essentially was in the story of Halo 5. There was a different team that was kind of playing against Master Chief or whatever. That just seems a little too spin-off and a little too late. Like if they were to do that, I imagine it'd be closer to Halo 5's release. They definitely weren't the highlights of that game. So it'd be a little shocking for them, especially when Infinite's not even out and Infinite doesn't seem like it's doing too well right now. I'd be shocked if we were getting a spin-off to the extent and scale of what a Fireteam Osiris game would look like in my head.
Yeah. I like the idea of Microsoft coming out this generation and trying to push Halo bigger and more than ever before, because I feel like the Xbox One generation, you obviously had Halo 5 and you had Masterchief Collection, which has been keeping the Halo name alive. But with Halo Infinite, they've very much been poising it as, hey, this is the Halo you know and love. This is Halo being not rebooted, but it's Halo being brought back in a way that if you're a Halo fan, you're probably looking forward to, and probably if you're new to Halo, we probably want to get you in also. That being combined with new Halo projects and new Halo ideas, I think could be a cool thing, right? If you want to like expand that IP and expand that brand, I think that could be a smart move for Microsoft. That said, like Halo Wars would probably be a safe bet, right? Because Halo Wars 1 and 2, have come out and, as far as I understand, have been good. People have enjoyed those games, so there's no reason to really deviate and stop doing those. I'm gonna bring in a question here from BJ Bernardo, who writes in and says, "Hi y'all. Do you think this new job posting gives us any idea how development for Halo Infinite is going? Does it mean it's going well? What do you think this new unspecified version of Halo is? I'm hoping it's actually about the other team in Halo 5, Blue Team, which is that the same as Fireteam Osiris that BJ is talking about, the Blue Team?"
It's one or the other. I don't even remember, man.
Gotcha. In a few of the books, they dive more deeper in the relationship with John, and it's pretty dope. Thanks, BJ. So yeah, like, what does this mean for Halo Infinite, you think?
I honestly don't think it means anything, and I do think that this is more likely than not going to turn into nothing. Like, I don't think we're going to see this game actually be announced or come out. And if anything, I do imagine that it's not going to be its own standalone piece of content. Like, I think that it'll be part of Infinite, kind of like what you're saying. Like, I think that Infinite right now needs to be all hands on deck. That game's in trouble, and Microsoft cannot fuck it up. It needs to be a big deal and have some positive consequence for years to come. And I have been hoping that we get some type of battle royale mode from Halo, because I love the way Halo feels. I love the vehicles in Halo. Like, there's a lot of potential fun to be had with the battle royale mode of some sort in Halo Infinite. And I can imagine, in the same way Call of Duty Warzone's a separate game, I wouldn't be surprised if this unannounced Halo game is similar to Warzone also being released alongside Black Ops or whatever, Cold War or whatever, where it's like they are very much different games, but also the updates they're kind of tied to each other in a certain way.
Yeah. I honestly think that would make the most sense for what you do with Halo going forward, right? Like Halo Infinite obviously has the campaign they're developing within it. The rumor, or I believe it's actually been confirmed, right, that the multiplayer is going to be free to play. And so like creating multiple pillars for what Halo is, and having quote unquote spin-off titles or something that is along the lines of Warzone to Call of Duty, I think would be smart and would be cool, right? And would do a lot to uplift and keep that brand alive. So we'll have to see. Story number 2. Speaking of Halo, 343 teases a new place and way to play the Masterchief Collection. This is from Adam Bankhurst at IGN. 343 Industries has teased that there just might be a new place and way to play Halo, the Masterchief Collection, in the near future. 343 revealed the news in its latest MCC weekly development update, and said that while things can change, it is trying to offer fans of this Halo collection a new way to play. While many would love to see Halo the Masterchief Collection come to Switch or PS5, this is most likely hinting that we may see this game arrive on the Epic Games Store, or possibly xCloud's cloud gaming beta with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on iOS and PC. The Masterchief Collection wouldn't be the first Microsoft-published game to make its way to Epic Games Store, as State of K 2 Juggernaut Edition is currently available for purchase. As for cloud gaming, Microsoft did confirm that Xbox's cloud gaming beta with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate would be coming to iOS devices and PC in spring 2021. So the timing could work out, even if it would be a bit on the earlier side of spring. Master Chief Collection is already one of the games featured on cloud gaming for Android devices. Tim, a new place and way to play Halo. Master Chief Collection.
It's funny because you read through that entire article, and I feel like you kind of walked through all the options that it could be, and it got progressively less exciting as it goes on. Where it's just like, first off, Master Chief Collection's not already on xCloud. It's like, didn't know that. That's weird. But of course, eventually it's going to make its way there. That makes sense. The Epic Game Store, it's like, all right, cool. I guess that is a new place to play, but like not really, because you're still playing it on PC where it's already currently available. It's just you're buying it from somewhere different. Obviously, Switch or PS5 would be the crazier ones. Like, imagine if Master Chief Collection came out on PS5. Like, what? But I do not think that will ever happen. I really think that is just too far gone. Switch, though, I could totally see it happening.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, Microsoft and Nintendo have a different relationship than Sony and Microsoft. Like, the last couple of years, we've seen a couple things of them playing nice in different ways. Cuphead, Ori coming to Switch, right? Obviously, Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash, Steve being in Smash. But all of those are still different than Halo coming to Switch, So I still think that, like, that if that were to happen, that would be a huge move and a huge moment in video game history of like, oh shit, a lot more things are now possible than before.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's possible on the tech side though? Because I think if we lived in the perfect world and the Switch was on par with, let's say, Xbox One X and PS4 Pro, right, then that would probably be an easier ask. But for what the Switch is, if I had to imagine Master Chief Collection running on Switch, it would probably be through streaming or xCloud being on Switch, which isn't outside the realm of possibility in that case, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing is we've seen Capcom do some type of streaming things before with Switch games with some of the bigger Resident Evil games. So I like Resident Evil 7 in Japan, I think. So
Control is also streamable on Switch.
Exactly. I can totally see it being that type of situation. And then it probably would be like a limited version of the game. Like, I don't think it would be like the entire version of the game, but I don't know exactly where they would cut corners and stuff besides graphically paring it down a bit.
Yeah. I think it'd be exciting though. Like, that was a conversation that me and Greg had on the last episode of PS Love You. We were talking about what the future could be for game publishing on different platforms, right? Like, if you're Xbox and you want to put a Sea of Thieves on PlayStation, or if you're a PlayStation, you want to put a Bloodborne on Xbox down the line, like, is that a future that we could see ourselves driving towards? And honestly, like, I think that makes a lot of sense when you look at what the purpose of exclusives are, right? Like, you're trying to sell your platform to people, you're trying to get people into your ecosystem, or you're trying to sell your box to people. And what could that look like if you're Microsoft and you want to get people excited for Halo Infinite, right? Like, if you have Halo Infinite on your platform specifically, and you can put Halo Master Chief Collection on the Switch, for example, and get more of those players into the idea of playing Halo Infinite, that way they make that crossover while you're still like you're still having that thing where both parties kind of win, right? Where Switch gets to have Halo on their platform, but then you also get a free advertisement for Infinite on their platform. Like, I think there's so much potential in that. And I think that'd just be great for players in the gaming community in general. And so I'd be open to it, though, for what this is, like this specific article is talking about, or what the 343 quote is talking about, right? A new place and way to play. I think that's definitely some sort of xCloud thing. I think that's xCloud coming to iOS, or xCloud coming to PC and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or Master Chief Collection coming to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Is Master Chief Collection on Epic Games Store? I forget. But maybe that's the option too. It's not. No. So yeah, maybe that's
what they're saying here.
Yeah, so maybe that's an option also.
Yeah. Boo.
We'll see though.
Boring.
Story number 3. The Nemesis system has been patented. This is from Wesley Yin-Poole at Eurogamer. As expected, Warner Brothers' application for a patent on Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system has been granted. IGN reports the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office released an issue notice, which is currently offline on February 3rd, 2021, confirming the patent goes into effect on February 23rd, 2021, with an option to maintain until 2035. Warner Brothers has been trying to gain approval for this patent since March 2016, although reference to it is made as early as March 2015. Monolith Productions' Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor came out in September 2014. The patent is dubbed Nemesis, quote, Nemesis characters, Nemesis forts, social vendettas, and followers in computer games, end quote, and is now assigned to Warner Brothers Entertainment, Inc. According to the patent listing, the United States Patent and Trademark Office issued a final rejection in November 2019, but Warner Brothers stuck to its guns, and in October 2020, a quote, notice of allowance was issued. This indicated Warner was able to overcome the rejections, and the USPTO believed the invention qualifies for patent. Tim, I hate this. This is the worst.
Yeah, it's not great. I do think that I was seeing someone was tweeting, and I'm blanking right now, but they were saying, like, at the end of the day, I don't think it's actually going to affect much because this is such a specific patent that any actual use of the systems in other games would be broader than this, so it wouldn't actually apply. They wouldn't own anything that other devs are really going to be implementing into their game. So, but it is just like, it's always just icky to hear this shit where it's like, oh man, like, there's like an attempt at control here that could be bad.
Yeah, like that's my whole thing is when it comes to patenting video game mechanics and systems, I think that's where things get kind of icky, because at the end of the day, so many of those things are ideas, and so many of those things are things that could be theoretically improved upon and iterated on and improved on. Like Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War are games that use combat systems from other games, right? Like that is the Arkham combat system in Shadow of Mordor. Like there's climbing from Assassin's Creed in Shadow of Mordor. And so to take the Nemesis system, something that I would say is probably one of the best like video game systems to come out of games in the last generation, like to take that and put a hold on it and be like, all right, yeah, we're patenting this, so if you want to use it, you either gotta pay up that big money or you just gotta not use it. That I think is upsetting. I think on the other hand, I will say nobody's used it. Like nobody's implemented the Nemesis system within the last generation, and it's been what 6-7 years since we got Shadow of Mordor. And so, you know, part of me is like, were we ever really going to see people use this system specifically? Like the closest we've gotten are games like Watch Dogs Legion, which kind of went halfway with it and didn't go the full way. With this like type of system, and I want to say there's probably like a few other games that I'm missing out on too, but nobody's really gone all the way with it. And I think a big part of that is because the Nemesis system is just it's very expansive, right? Like it's a very difficult thing to actually want to implement. And so even with Watch Dogs Legion, that game kind of goes about a similar system, but halfway, because going full in on something like that would just take tons of work and tons of time. And so even though they're patenting this, I'm upset more at the principle than the actual outcome, because I don't think we would have seen many games actually implement this system. Yeah,
exactly.
I want to bring in a question from the Nano Biologist, who writes in and says, hey, Bless and Tim. So we found out why the Nemesis system hasn't appeared in any other game beyond the Middle-earth series. This seems like nothing more than an overprotective company that may be trying to get a quick buck. Do you expect WB to give up this patent after all the backlash they're receiving from industry people, or do they just not care? Finally, even if WB gives up the patent, is it too late for the Nemesis system to become a staple game feature that we all hoped it'd be? Has the industry moved on without hope of the Nemesis system ever being featured in a game again beyond another Middle-earth game or an even further future Batman/Lego game? Thanks, the Nano Biologist.
No way. Not a chance in hell. Like this is the thing with where we're at in the world now, where just because there's backlash doesn't mean that people are going to act on things. Like we've seen it a lot, but it's not like there's a level of backlash to this, like things we've seen recently, like when Microsoft put out the price increase on Xbox Live. Like that was backlash that was like, okay, there's a lot here. And even then, I'm surprised that they acted as quickly as they did and actually went back on that, because that requires so many higher up people at Microsoft having to have big meetings and conversations, specifically on a Friday. But with this, WB doesn't give a shit. Like they won't care at all. And like is it too late for the Nemesis system to become a staple game feature? I don't think it's too late, but I just think that we're never going to get it exactly like that. It's just going to be like iterations on the idea of it used in different games, which is totally allowed, and developers will be able to get around that without having the patent for this. I don't think it's really going to get in the way of anyone's vision for creating their game.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you that the actual patent itself seems to be specific enough that if developers truly want to make something inspired by or iterative of the Nemesis system, then I think we'll still see those. I think it is just a thing of, hey, that takes a lot of work and a lot of development power and planning to actually make those things pan out in game. And yeah, to the question of, do you expect WB to give up this patent after all the backlash? Absolutely not, because the backlash that they're seeing over this is very insular. Like, it is not Cyberpunk. It is not Microsoft with the price increase for Xbox Gold, right? Like, this is very much a thing where I look on Twitter and the people who are mad are very much developers or people very much in the games industry. Like, fans and people in the community are not really giving backlash over this because this is such a specific insular thing that many people are not going to have eyes on. And this is a thing that is already done. Like, what's done is done. You're not just going to give up a patent because you have the patent. It probably takes a lot of work to give up a patent, I imagine. And so for this, it is what it is. I don't love the precedent it sets, but again, like, I don't, in the actuality of things, I don't know how much of a ripple effect this has, at least on people using or implementing similar kinds of systems. I just hope it does. My one thing is I hope it doesn't lead to more publishers patenting mechanics and systems.
Because that is the thing. Like, while this isn't that big of a deal in terms of what is going to come from this specific patent, it could turn into a big deal if others start doing this as well and everything gets patented.
Exactly. Story number 4, Tim. This is actually a big one that was breaking as we were getting the show started, and so I came into the call kind of late because I was still putting this one together. Story number 4: the ESA is planning for a digital E3 in 2021. This is from Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. According to E3 2021 pitch documents sent to games publishers and seen by VGC, the ESA has now outlined its proposals for this year's event, which would see 3 days of live stream coverage held during the previously announced dates of June 15th through June 17th. The ESA's intention is to hold multiple 2-hour keynote sessions from games partners, an award show, a June 14 preview night, and other smaller streams from games publishers, influencers, and media partners. The broadcast event would be supplemented by media previews the week before, as well as demos released on consumer platforms, according to the ESA's proposal. The ESA also says it'll allow partner companies to remotely stream playable game demos to the media across thousands of scheduled meetings with one-to-one assistance from developers. Many companies have used similar on-demand streaming solutions during the pandemic to allow the media to remotely play their games for preview purposes. However, the E3 2021 plans still require the approval of ESA's membership, which is made up of the industry's biggest games companies and who have significant influence over the direction of the show. The ESA was already facing significant pressure to reinvent E3, with several major publishers, including EA, Sony, and Activision, having abandoned the event in recent years. And that was before 2020's cancellation, after which many companies such as EA and Ubisoft enjoyed success running their own digital events. E3's longtime collaborator, Jeff Keighley, who quit the show last year due to disagreement over its direction, also launched the successful Summer Games Fest in 2020. Keighley confirmed to VGC over private message that the event would return this year and said he would again not be involved with E3. And I'm going to put a quick note here. Just today, there was a tweet from Summer Games Fest because they updated their branding to be to have new colors. Basically, it's more of a blue.
It's
blue
back,
tone
baby.
Thing. It's back, baby. Summer Games Fest.
Starts now. Jeff Grubb, where you at?
Get hype. We're already there. The summer starts today. To continue with the article. It's unclear how many publishers have signed up for E3 2021's digital event, though at least one major company VGC spoke to indicated that it would continue to run its own separate digital showcase, rather than paying the 6-figure sums required to join E3 2021's schedule. However, the ESA, which is funded by and serves the interest of games publishers, would argue that a unified digital games event would grab the world's attention more effectively than a series of smaller shows. In a statement issued to VGC, the SA said it would soon share exact details on this year's E3 show and claimed it was having great conversations with developers and publishers, but would not confirm who had signed up for the event. Tim, a lot here. The future of E3. We got a glimpse.
Good Lord. Yeah, here we go. I love this. The ESA, which is funded by and serves the interest of games publishers, would argue that a unified digital games event would grab the world's attention more effectively. No shit. Hey, guys, the thing that we're used to doing and making money off, let's do it that way, because that's the right way to do things. They're fucked. They're so fucked. Like, here's the thing. At the end of the day, everyone had a taste of a better way to do this. And that was last year when Ubisoft had its forwards, PlayStation had the state of plays, Nintendo didn't have a direct.
Nintendo.
You know what I mean? It's like you go through, it's just like there's different ways to announce games now. And like even with Summer Game Fest and like partnering with Keighley to make the like Activision announcements, the more one-off things that aren't like, hey, here's a whole like our entire library of games that we're announcing. It's just more like, oh, it's a Tuesday. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is a thing. Crash Bandicoot 4 is a thing. Like, you know, that type of stuff. So I don't think I think that it's pretty safe to say that E3 2021 is going to be severely lacking in any announcements of consequence. I don't think that it's going to be what it used to be of that's where all the press conferences are, all eyes on this. Let's go. I think it's going to be pretty tame and much more similar to the E3 kind of roundtable discussions that would happen on YouTube around E3, like when E3 the show itself is going on, and it's kind of like, okay, cool, here's a deeper dive into Baldur's Gate 3 or whatever, you know, or here's like a look at Netflix's new slate of mobile games, like that type of stuff, where I'm sure someone's interested, but you know, it's not the same as like, okay, so this night's Microsoft, next night's PlayStation, you know what I mean? Like that I think is gone, and we'll just be devoured into this summer game mess. And the worst news of all of this is it seems like there's not a chance that this year will be more organized than last year.
I hope so. Like we don't really get that from this article, but I would think and I would hope that Jeff Keighley is taking in all the feedback from last year and is trying to get people organized. Granted, all that, or a lot of that at least, is above Jeff Keighley's head, right? Like Jeff Keighley can't control Ubisoft and Jeff Keighley can't control EA and how all these different companies choose to do their own thing. But man, like last year felt like a great first attempt. You know, it felt like one of those ones where like this is a thing that you'll get if you play battle royales, especially Apex, where you go in for the first few matches and you die immediately upon dropping. And you're like, okay, cool, that was a good warm up, guys. This next one is the real one. Summer Games Fest definitely felt like the warm up. It definitely felt like all right, this is our first shot at this. Let's see who we can get together. Okay, Ubisoft's not interested. All right, well, it looks like EA might be interested. Okay, cool. We can get these guys over here. The God, I can't even remember the specific. We'll get the indie game showcase. We'll get that in. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. It felt so not disorganized because it felt like it felt as organized as it could have been for a year that was entirely scattered for what it was. But at the same time, it did feel like it stretched for way too long. And the hype that we have with a 1 week E3 in terms of announcements and events and all that stuff, that stretched along a whole summer and further than that, just I don't think hit the way that it needed to. And so I would hope that this year there's more thought and there's more care put into like actually organizing these events and organizing these announcements in a way that is more palpable and digestible for the community. But again,
it's not going to happen, man. I mean, the reality is you're right. It's like last year was a great foundation and it was a great glimpse at what could potentially be a better way to do this. But the thing is, there needs to be a ringleader. There needs to be somebody that is organizing all of this, Kevin Feige style, making the MCU, or else you get the DCEU, or else you get the X-Men movies or whatever. It's just like, and that's where we're at when it comes to these announcements, where the big dogs and the little dogs need to be talking to somebody and making sure that they're not stepping on each other's toes and everything's fine. Because even with this E3, this digital E3, if I remember correctly, this is the exact same week as PAX East.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. And like, not that really matters, especially if it's all digital, but it's like, that's...
Also, PAX East ain't happening.
I mean, it's going to be... I mean, yeah.
That'll get canceled. That'll get canceled for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's just like we're in a weird ass place with this world right now. So
That's true.
but I'm not that PAX is like the place of major announcements constantly, but like sometimes there are things. I just think that there's not a chance that Ubisoft and PlayStation are going to like really get on the same page about, okay, well, a state of play is on this date, and then Ubisoft Forward's on this date, and that would be best for us. But at the end of the day, I don't think that last year is looked at as a failure from any of them, because they look back at it like, well, we did our job of showing off our games and getting people excited for them and having them go out and buy the new consoles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, you mentioned we need like a Kevin Feige to organize this whole thing. And I think you're absolutely right that if you were to ask individual companies and publishers like, hey, do you see last year's success? I think you ask Ubisoft, they'd be like, yeah, no, like Ubisoft Forward did great. If you ask PlayStation, they probably like the way in which they're doing state of play. And if you go company by company, like individually, they are all probably like, yeah, no, this is good for us. Jeff Keighley is probably like, all right, there are things that I wish we could have done better, but again, like, you mentioned Kevin Feige. Like the reason why Kevin Feige is able to organize that shit the way he is because he has ownership and he has the freedom and he can place those chess pieces. Whereas Jeff Keighley, the chess pieces are above him. Like he has to work from the ground up in order to make those chess pieces fall into place. Whereas Kevin Feige can look down and be like, cool, you go here, I'm gonna place you here, and this is gonna go as planned. Which is the thing that's gonna make this year probably still messy, but fingers crossed, hopefully less messy than last year. That said, my question to you for to get back to E3 is, what major publishers, if any, do you think partner with the ESA and have an E3 keynote?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't think that we're going to be getting anybody that we'd be used to getting press conferences for there. I can see like maybe like the PC gaming show. And that's pretty much it. Like I really have a feeling that E3 this year is going to be something that we look at, and instead of like planning out like, oh, we're going to cover all this stuff, it's going to be like, okay, cool, we're going to cover this live stream from it, maybe this other one, and that's kind of it. Like I think it's going to be way more focused and niche. This is so clearly a last ditch effort for them to like try to hold on to whatever relevance they can. And again, it's another weird world or weird year when it comes to they have to be digital, which at the end of the day is probably a great thing for them because they can save money on having to have the physical presence and all that stuff. And I just can't see them doing too well. And when you are losing the support of people like Jeff Keighley, it's like, well, little by little, you're not going to be grasping onto much.
Yeah, the thing that really stands out to me in this article too is that it seems like if you want to partner with ESA and join E3 as a publisher, you'll still have to pay 6 figures. That seems crazy to me for an event that is digital. Like you're not renting out space, you're not like taking up I guess you are taking up a time slot, but you're not that is something you can do entirely on your own. For as opposed to actually partnering with the ESA to actually get that message out there. Like if you're Ubisoft, why would you pay that when you can
totally.
just do that yourself?
Because the ESA is looking at it, they're like E3 means something to people, and people will pay that to be part of this. And it's like, let's see if that bet pays off. Because I think the last couple of years, it's only gotten less and less of a surefire thing that people are going to give a shit. Like even when E3 was relevant, people were leaving. Microsoft left, EA left. Like E3 the last couple of years was different. Like the show floor felt empty or replaced with a bunch of like weird merch vendors and shit and Funko Pops everywhere.
Tim, I want to tell you about our next news story. But before I do, I want to tell you about our sponsor, of course. You can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames where you can get the show ad-free. And speaking of ads, this episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily is brought to you by Amazon Pharmacy. Chances are you use Amazon, but have you used Amazon Pharmacy yet? That's right, prescriptions delivered right to your door by Amazon, just like the TP and Funko Pops you're probably already ordering. It saves you time and keeps you out of the waiting line at the pharmacy. It's easy. Have your doctor's office send you your next prescription straight to Amazon Pharmacy. You can use your insurance. Amazon Pharmacy works with most insurance plans nationwide. Amazon Prime members get free 2-day delivery and save on prescription medication when paying without insurance. Tim needed some medication over the previous holiday break. He used Amazon Pharmacy, and he says it's easy as all hell.
It's true.
Amazon Prime members can save on prescription medication when not using insurance and get free 2-day delivery. Learn more at amazon.com/gamesrx. That is amazon.com/gamesrx. Amazon.com/gamesrx. We're also brought to you by DoorDash. Dinner, check. Deodorant, check. Morning pick me up from Dunkin', check. Let me tell you, I got my my Starbucks this morning, and I loved it. It did the job. It got me awake.
I got mine right now, baby.
Oh man, you love to see it. Get everything you need whenever you need it with DoorDash. DoorDash connects you with the restaurants you love right now and right to your door. And now you can get the grocery essentials you need with DoorDash also. Get drinks, snacks, and other household items delivered in under an hour. Ordering is easy. Open the DoorDash app, choose what you want from where you want, and your items will be left safely outside your door with the contactless delivery drop-off setting. With over 300,000 partners in the US, Puerto Rico, Australia, and now Canada, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. For a limited time, our listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code GAMES2021. For our Canadian listeners, use code GAMESCA. That's 25% off up to $10 value and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code GAMES2021 in the US and GAMESCA in Canada. Don't forget, that's code GAMES2021 for Games or GAMESCA for 25% off your first order with DoorDash, subject to change, terms apply. Tim. It's time for story number 5. Let's talk about GameStop. A GameStop film is in development at HBO. This is Joe Otterson at Variety. A scripted GameStop film is in development at HBO. The project hails from executive producers Andrew Ross Sorkin of TBTF Productions, Len Amato of Crash and Salvage, and Jason Blum of Blumhouse Television. The film is described as exploring a populist uprising of social media day traders beat Wall Street at their own game, turning the stock market upside down and shaking the financial world to its core. This is the latest on-screen project set up to detail the ongoing stock market saga around GameStop. A feature documentary was announced just yesterday, while earlier this week, a feature film adaptation from writer Mark Bowl was announced with Noah Centineo set to star in a major role. MGM also recently picked up the rights to author Ben Mesrick's book proposal, quote, The Antisocial Network, which also dives into the Wall Street fiasco. Grand Cathedral Publishing plans to publish the book in the fall. Tim, this is very quick. This happened very quick. I expected this to happen. I didn't expect it to happen a week later.
But if it's going to happen, I did expect it to happen with Noah Centineo. Of course he's attached to this. That's just so like, okay, we need a dude. What dude should we get? That dude. You're like, all right, cool. I guess that's happening. I'm not surprised by this at all. Anytime a big moment like this happens, it gets optioned for a movie. Where are all the Firefest movies? You know what I mean?
We got them.
The documentaries.
We had 2 documentaries.
No, the documentaries is like how we learned about all this shit. Like there was like all like movie rights. They're like going to turn it into films and shit. And I didn't see any of that stuff. Maybe they came and went. And
I can't wait.
Nobody gave a shit. And I can imagine a very similar end to this story whenever the Antisocial Network movie comes out.
Antisocial Network is a great name for this movie. Shout out to whoever came up with that.
Ben Mesrick.
Yeah, this is gonna happen. Like I guess I'm just shocked by how quickly I'm not tuned into Hollywood, right? And so I don't know the process in which movies get greenlit and scripts get written and all that shit. Just the swiftness of this is the thing that gets me. I can't wait to watch it though. I think it's gonna be an entertaining watch because I think there's a lot you can do in movie form with the events of the last month.
That's true. We got Imran Khan, Jody. He's gonna, I'm sure, bring some fire to this. What's up, man?
Well, there should be probably no reason Game Informer is involved with a GameStop movie. But if they are, and if they're going back a couple of years, I think Rahul Kohli should play me.
I love it.
Oh my God.
I love everything about this.
If they're going back
fuck that. As much as I love that, I say no. This movie is just straight up about Imran, and Noah Centineo is playing you.
No Centeneo's Imran would be fire. I'd be all about that.
Okay.
Oh my god, that is great though. But yeah, I really wish that the whole thing would be centered around the former informer.
It'd be a real boring ass movie. All right, fuck GameStop. Bye.
Bye.
Never forget. Oh man.
Good stuff. Story number 6, Terraria for Stadia is canceled. This is Owen as good at Polygon. And usually this is one of those ones that I would include for just new dates. But the story behind it, I feel like is interesting enough that it needs to be its own news story. Again, I'm reading from Owen over at Polygon. The co-creator of Terraria has called off development of the game for Google Stadia following a 3-week stretch where he has been inexplicably locked out of all of his Google accounts. Andrew Spinks gave the ultimatum early Monday after getting no response from Google since YouTube locked him out of his account in mid-January. The lockout has also cost Spinks access to apps he's purchased on Google Stadia, wiped data he stored in Google Drive, and terminated a Gmail account he used for more than 15 years. I got his tweets that he tweeted, I guess yesterday. They go like this. This is directly from Andrew Spinks on Twitter. Well, my phone has lost access to thousands of dollars of apps on Google Play. I just bought Lord of the Rings 4K and I can't finish it. My Google Drive data is completely gone. I can't access my YouTube channel. The worst of all is losing access to my Gmail address of over 15 years. I absolutely have not done anything to violate your terms of service, so I can't take this no other way, so I can take this no other way than you deciding to burn this bridge. Consider it burned. Hashtag Terraria for Google Stadia is canceled. My company will no longer support any of your platforms going forward. To continue with the article, Spinks said he brought this to Google's attention around January 16th, and the company has done nothing but given me the runaround since then. 2 days ago, fans noted that Terraria had gotten a rating and release date for Google Stadia from Europe's PEGI ratings agency. The only official word that Terraria was in the works for the streaming platform came with Spinks' cancellation announcement on Monday. Not much to really dig into with this one. It's just a very fascinating story.
Fucking weird.
Yeah.
What the hell, Google?
Scary as shit. Scary as shit. Like how much that would affect lots of people because that's what their company's based off of,
Yeah, if you get banned from Google, it's like, sweet, now I just can't do shit. I've lost all my
done.
Yeah, I've lost all my apps. I have lost access to my YouTube account.
It's similar to how why doesn't he know why, How is he not being able to?
Because these companies suck. Anytime I've been banned from platform, I never get any reason as to why. It just says you're banned. My guy.
Yeah, but we all know why you were banned.
Well, listen, you don't need to know. Well, I was banned off of Fortnite. I'm just kidding. I wasn't banned off of Fortnite. But it could happen.
You'd want to know why.
And I'd want to know why. Google, free my man, Andrew Spinks. Let him get access back to his Gmail. But that's the thing is if there are similar stories of people being banned from Facebook or whatever reason, and then not being able to use their Oculus Quest. And it's that kind of sucks, especially when you get no explanation or reason as to why.
Yeah.
And so, again, free my man, Andrew Spinks. He did nothing wrong. I actually don't know that to be the case. But if he did nothing wrong, free my man, let Terraria come to Stadia, all that good stuff. Story number 7, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker expansion has been announced for fall 2021. This is Adam Bankhurst at IGN. Square Enix has announced that Final Fantasy XIV's next expansion pack, Endwalker, will be released in fall 2021. This new expansion pack will feature 2 new jobs, 1 healer and 1 melee DPS, and will bring players to the moon. Endwalker to the moon. Endwalker in patch 6.0 will conclude the tale of Hydaelyn and Zodiark, and will bring to a close the story that began in A Realm Reborn. Beginning with patch 6.1, a brand new story will begin in the world of Final Fantasy XIV. Endwalker will also see the level cap raised to 90 and will feature massive new areas just waiting to be explored, including the imperial capital of Garlemald, Thavnair, and the city of Radzatkan.
Cool.
I think I pronounced all that correctly. Fans of Final Fantasy X will also be happy to see the return of Anima as a new threat to face, and his design was recreated by his original creators. Does that excite you, Tim?
Cool. Oh right? Yeah, Anima's weird, man. Anima's this weird goth summon that's chained up. It's creepy as fuck.
A new high difficulty raid, Pandemonium, will also be added alongside a new Alliance raid series that looks to reveal secrets of the world of Hydaelyn. The trust system is also getting a new ally to recruit, and this time is Heaven's Ward's Estinian Wormblood. Other additions include a new residential district known as Ishgard, updates to the Gold Saucer and Island Sanctuary that looks surprisingly like Harvest Moon. You can raise animals, cultivate the earth, and learn how to live off the land, and so much more. Finally, it was revealed that Final Fantasy will officially be coming to PS5 on April 13th, 2021 in open beta. Tim, what would it take to get you into Final Fantasy 14? Does that Final Fantasy 10 stuff make you at all interested?
I mean, that's cool that they're doing that. Final Fantasy, the MMO stuff, like that seems like way too much of a time sink for my life. I'm so happy that it is as good as it is, and how many people absolutely love it. What a success story out of such failure to begin with. But at this point, it's been great longer than it's been bad by years.
It's wild to see how many people on my timeline, including my roommate Michael Hyam, who go crazy when new Final Fantasy 14 stuff drops. Like, it is an event that comes out of nowhere, because obviously, like, I don't really care too much about when they announce like Final Fantasy 14 showcase and all that stuff. I'm like, cool, good for you. I'm excited for how excited you are. But then when it's actually happening, you look on Twitter and you see people like, Natalie Flores, Michael Hyam, and a bunch more people just going crazy and getting super excited. And so happy for y'all. Go get them. Have fun with Hydaelyn.
I'm happy that Final Fantasy 16 is going to be by the same guys. So it's like, then maybe we'll be able to enjoy the quality in a type of game that's a bit more our speed.
Exactly. Our last news story for the day that is also going to double as a deal of the day. This is story number 8. Epic Games Store is having a spring showcase. This is directly from the Epic Games website, where they write, join us as we take a look at some of the games launching on the Epic Games Store this year. We've curated a collection of new announcements, gameplay, and extended looks presented by developers creating the games we all love. Our spring showcase premieres on Twitch February 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to head over to the Epic Games Store or Epic Games Twitch channel and hit that follow button for go live notifications. The showcase sale runs February 11th at 11 a.m. Eastern to February 25th at 11 a.m. Eastern. Celebrate the showcase with us with deals on these titles and more. The deals include Star Wars Squadrons for 40% off, SnowRunner for up to 40% off, Cyberpunk 2077 for 10% off, Assassin's Creed Valhalla for up to 20% off, and Hades for 20% off. Tim, do you expect much from this Epic Games showcase?
No, but it's cool that they're doing it. I think it's just backing up sales and all that stuff. Makes sense.
I hope there's some fun surprises. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I hope it's like a fun, almost like I know it's probably not going to be all indie games, but something along the lines of like an indie direct, where it is, hey, you're not going to get the next big AAA game from this, but here's some fun stuff you can look forward to and new announcements from developers you might enjoy. I hope that's the case. And yeah, I'm excited for this.
Yeah. I'm excited. The game mess begins now, February.
God. Isn't it great that this is just a thing that we look forward to over the course of the whole year?
The whole year. It just never ends.
It's tiring.
Announced games, baby. It's
tiring. I'm excited, but it's tiring. It's weird. It's that weird dichotomy of like, I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time, it's like, I want to go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, very excited to see what the big announcements are from Epic Games Store Spring Showcase, but that's so far away. If I wanted what's coming out to mom and grab shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show host each and every weekday.
Yes. Out today, we got Contract Killers for Switch, Equaline for PC, Travel Fans for PC, Super Cops, Justice Keepers for iOS and Android, and then Hardship for Android. Then we have one new date for you, Maquette is coming to PS5 and PS4 on March 2nd. That's one that I'm looking forward to. It's that first-person game where perspective is shifted and like you're like playing in a toy set, but things are big, but then like you can look down at the small toy set and rearrange it. Looks really cool.
Oh, that wasn't the game that came out last year that we enjoyed so much?
Superliminal? No, it's different, but it looks like it has like similar things going on.
Whoa, I was like, it's weird. We never got the like playset thing that I saw in the trailer. Wow, I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, that's coming out March 2nd. Look forward to it. I'm hyped for it also. Now it is time. Actually, hold on. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go from here because I got options. You know what? Let's go to reader mail. We got one question. We got time for.
Let's
we got
do it,
time for
man.
it.
We have 4 minutes.
Of course, reader mail. If you're invited to patreon.com, so that's kind of funny games. Get your questions read on the show, just like Sam did. Sam writes in and says, "I've seen people already getting fed up of micromanaging storage on the new consoles, switching between SSD and USB hard drives depending on what they're actively playing. Do you think either Sony or Microsoft will release a version with a bigger SSD in the next couple of years? Thanks, Sam." Tim, what's the next step for this SSD situation?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. They're going to come out with a new version with a bigger SSD once it's cheaper than it is now. Like, we're still in a world where the SSDs being used in these consoles are extremely expensive and not that spacious. So once that changes and as things evolve and, kind of just get easier to produce over time, definitely I think that we're going to see significant increases. I do think that it's going to be a while, and I don't think we're going to anytime during this generation hit a point that the internal SSDs of the consoles are going to be able to hold all the games we want them to. I think that forever it's going to be some form of cloud and external and internal combination of storing our games, just because games are that damn big nowadays.
Yeah, the amount of times I've uninstalled and reinstalled Call of Duty at this point in the last 3 to 4 months that these consoles have been out, it's been ridiculous. And I'm, at least on the Xbox side, you have expandable storage with the cards, and so they're not necessarily pressured to put out a version of the box with a higher SSD. That'll come eventually. I'm with you that's a thing that'll eventually happen, because that always happens. But on the PlayStation side, I am shocked there hasn't been a solution yet to increase SSD storage. Especially like even on the Microsoft side, right? Being able to at least hold your next quote unquote next gen, which I guess is now current gen games, on an external hard drive and switch it back
very
and forth when you need
expensive
to.
external hard drive.
Yeah, like at least that's an option. Whereas on PlayStation, I've already gotten to the point multiple times where I'm like, okay, what am I uninstalling? Cool. I guess I'm not going to go back to Miles Morales soon, and so I'll uninstall that. I guess I'm not going to get back to the Pathless soon, so I guess I'll uninstall that. It's becoming more and more of an issue, especially as more and more multiplayer games are coming out, and like I don't necessarily want to uninstall games that I'm playing online, because who knows, man. Like Call of Duty especially is one of those ones where I get the call unexpectedly, and Ree will call me up and be like, got to get in the zone, or got to get into zombies. I was playing zombies last week. The game's fun, and so I like to keep that installed. But
Do you still have Fortnite?
it's a bummer. What was that, Kevin?
Do you still have Fortnite?
I do, begrudgingly though, because I think I'm done with my current relationship with Fortnite. I'm gonna get back to Fortnite again eventually.
Just to see, why don't you double down? Just to see.
Just
double down and do what?
Play a lot
Be a
more
Fortnite
Fortnite
master.
for this week. You know what I mean?
We'll see. There was a leak seemingly of a Flash skin in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that got me a little bit excited. And so we'll see, man. We'll see. Right now, I'm thinking about uninstalling it because I think I'm done. But when that Flash skin comes out, that might bring me back.
Don't do that.
We'll see though.
Fight the urge.
Now it's time for kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. We write in and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong. Tommy Boy wrote in with a "you're wrong," mentioning the Halo 5 teams. I was asking about the blue team, whether or not that's the same as Osiris. Tommy Boy helped clarify that the blue team is Masterchief Squad, and then Osiris is Locke's team.
There we go.
And then Ignacio Rojas says Masterchief Collection was on the iOS xCloud beta. Let's see here. Masterchief's Collection is on xCloud. Specifically, it's not on xCloud for Apple though, because xCloud isn't available yet on iOS.
Got it. That's weird.
And then last one, Nano Biologist mentions that the Flash skin just got teased on the official Fortnite account Twitter page. And so, man, that might
Better
be the
act
one.
fast, Kev.
That might be the one. Kevin, we playing Fortnite?
Yeah, I mean wherever, like whatever, like I'm down.
It's just whatever, dude.
Just whatever.
Like, man.
Here's the
come
thing.
on.
Here's the thing. Bless.
Here's the thing.
There's only 2 people playing Call of Duty today, which means that my pedals are like primed and ready to go. So you say the word, I'll pull out the Switch, blow the dust off it, play some Fortnite on there.
Now, Kevin, you know that PS Love You XOXO records now at noon on Mondays, and so I'm gonna be busy, sadly.
That sucks.
Yeah, just it. I could play with you during PSLV XOXO, but I feel like people might notice that. We'll see. I might organize it. Who knows? This week's hosts for Kind of Funny Games Daily go like this. Tomorrow it's Greg and Gary Whitta. Wednesday it's me and Imran. Thursday it's Greg and MH Williams, who is our Kind of Funny spotlight for this week. And then Friday it's Greg and Imran Khan for Imran's final KFGD as a part-timer. So look forward to that.
No.
Boo.
If you're watching
I'm
live
happy
on,
this is like the worst thing where it's like you're so happy for him, but you're also like, I hate you. You know?
Yeah.
It's like that
I was
perfect
very-
mix of emotions.
I was very sad when we first got the news that it was that he was leaving us, as a part-timer, because I was like, man, I love doing shows with Imran Khan. Brings
Yeah.
a specific energy that I very much appreciate.
Totally,
but
man.
This isn't goodbye. This is see you
No.
later.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this live on Twitch, after this is Snowbike Mike and Nick playing Call of Duty. Is it, Kevin? Did you just confirm?
Yeah,
that
with the Game Attack, I believe. So
with Game Attack.
prepare for some nonsense because those kids, they know how to go hard, and so do we. You know what I mean?
We know what you mean. Of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily, each and every weekday live right here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy news you need to know about. We have a Patreon post show for those that are subbed at the silver level of patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. So stick around for that. Otherwise, until next time, Game Daily.